Spider-Man No Way Home is fun, and I found something interesting in the script. Before I talk about that, I want to start by breaking down the structure. Opening image. Mysterio tells everyone Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Theme stage. Peter and MJ swing across New York until they arrive at Peter's apartment. Setup. Everyone comes to Peter's apartment. Peter, MJ, Ned and Aunt May are arrested and investigated, but they are released after that. Peter and Aunt May move to a safe house where Happy's apartment is. Peter and MJ want to study at MIT. Peter realizes that everyone knows he is Spider-Man is not only his problem. Peter, MJ and Ned want to move from this city. They hope it will help them get back to a normal life. Catalyst. Don't have any university accept him, MJ and Ned, because Peter is Spider-Man. Peter thinks it is unfair to MJ and Ned. Peter sees wizard decorations that make him think of Doctor Strange. Peter comes to beg Doctor Strange to make everyone forget he is Spider-Man. Doctor Strange can help by using
the runes of Kafka.
Debate. But Wong warns him.
The runes of Kafka
is too dangerous. But Doctor Strange still uses it. Break into 2. During, Doctor Strange casts a spell. Peter begs Doctor Strange to change the spell many times. Fun and game. Peter convinces MIT Mixer to reconsider. Dr. Octopus attacks Peter. Doctor Strange brings Peter back to Sanctum and explains what is happening. The mistakes of the spells bring many villains from another universe to this universe. Doctor Strange orders Peter to arrest them all. Peter calls MJ and Ned to help. Peter arrests the villains Electro and Sandman. Osborn comes to see Aunt May. Peter brings Osborn to Sanctum. The villains share their story before they know everyone will be killed. Doctor Strange wants to send the villains back to their universe. B story. Peter disagrees with Doctor Strange because he doesn't want to send them back to die. Peter steals
the Machina de Cadavis
from Doctor Strange. Peter fights with Doctor Strange in Mirror Dimension. Doctor Strange takes
the Machina de Cadavis
back. Finally, Peter steals
the Machina de Cadavis
back, and imprisons Doctor Strange in Mirror Dimension. Midpoint. Peter decides to heal the villains back to normal before sending them back and saving his life. Bad guy close in. Peter brings the villains to his safe house. Dr. Octopus is the first villain who Peter has healed. Peter heals the other villain. Spider-Sense finds something wrong. Peter knows Osborn is controlled by the Green Goblin. Peter fights with the villains. Aunt May runs. Peter is attacked by the Green Goblin and is defeated. Green Goblin changes his target to Aunt May. All is lost. Aunt May dies. Dark Night of the Soul. Peter drowned in sorrow. Ned and MJ search for Peter but meet Peter from another universe. 3 Spider-Monts meet one another. Break into 3. Peter decides to make the devices that can heal the villains again. Finale. Sub-beat. Fun and game. All Spider-Man make the devices. Midpoint. Peter calls the villain to meet him at the Statue of Liberty. Bad guy close in. All Spider-Man fight with the villains. The villains are healed and back to normal. Doctor Strange comes back to the real world. The Green Goblin attacks
the Machina de Cadavis.
Explore. The multiverse wall is broken. Many villains will come to Peter in this universe. Peter fights with the Green Goblin and almost kills him, but finally, he can heal Osborn. All is lost. The multiverse wall will be destroyed. Dark Night of the Soul. Peter decides to beg Doctor Strange to cast the spell again, but this time makes everyone forget him. Peter says goodbye to the other Peter. Peter says goodbye to MJ and Ned. Finale. Doctor Strange casts the spell again. Villains and the other Peter are sent back. Peter comes to see MJ and Ned to tell his story, but he changes his mind. Final image. No one knows that Spider-Man is Peter Parker. When comparing the opening image and the final image, we will clearly see the difference. At first everyone knows Spider-Man is Peter Parker, but in the end no one knows. From Break Snyder's Save the Cat beat sheet. We will find 5 interesting points. Break into 2. B story. Fun and game after B story. Bad guy close in. And the last point, all is lost. Start from Break into 2. This beat is the first step that protagonist comes to the new world, and it should be protagonist's decision. but in No Way Home. Entering the new world is not Peter's decision. Even though it is Peter who asks Doctor Strange to erase everyone's memory. But the one who makes the decision is Doctor Strange. Notice from the setup Doctor Strange is the one who decides to use.
The runes of Kafka.
And the debate is between Doctor Strange and Wong.
It's too dangerous.
We've used it for a lot less.
Peter is not involved in this discussion. Which will make this movie become. The script solves the problem by making Peter ask many things of Doctor Strange when Drive Strange casts a spell. Then the cause of the mistake will be Peter and it is Peter's responsibility to fix it. When Break Into 2 finishes, we will get its logline. When Peter wants everyone to forget who he is Spider-Man. He asks Doctor Strange for help, but the spell has a mistake. That makes villains from another universe come to this universe. So, Peter has to send them back. You will see some important things that are missing. Which brings us to the second point B story.
Strange. We can't send them back.
Peter disagrees with sending the villain back because he doesn't want them to die. This B story is Peter's decision which makes the story completely belong to Peter.
Dude, what are you doing? You gotta go.
Then we got the logline. When Peter wants everyone to forget who he is Spider-Man. He asks Doctor Strange for help, but the spell has a mistake. That makes villains from another universe come to this universe. So, Peter has to send them back. But he wants to heal them before. To prevent them from their deaths. You can see that the story's logline doesn't appear after Break Into 2 like normal structure but it appears after B story. Because Break Into 2 is not Peter's decision. The B story is created to make the story more Peter's. If you don't believe me, I will tell you the story of Doctor Strange No Way Home. Doctor Strange casts a spell incorrectly. That makes villains from another universe come to this universe. So, he has to send them back. You will see the story is less complicated because Doctor Strange can do everything by himself. He doesn't have to ask someone to help. When he makes a mistake, it will be his responsibility. So, the weak point of Spider-Man No Way Home is Peter can't make all decisions. The script was fixed like I said before. This complexity arises from the condition, so let's try to guess what it is. First, the real Spider-Man is Peter Parker, based on the comic. Second, multiverse based on the comic either and it is the next main storyline of the MCU. Third, bring the other Spider-Man to this story. In these conditions, the people who could lead the story into the multiverse are Doctor Strange and Wanda. But Peter knows Drive Strange more than Wanda, so Drive Strange is chosen. The next point is fun and game after B story. This part is separated from the main story. It has its own goal that is
The Machina de Cadavis.
and runs from Doctor Strange. So the villain of this part is not, but he is Drive Strange. And the sub-beat is fun and game. Peter steals
The Machina de Cadavis.
from Doctor Strange and runs away. Midpoint. Doctor Strange brings Peter to mirror dimension. Bad guy close in. Peter is in the mirror dimension where Doctor Strange can control everything. All is lost. Doctor Strange takes the
Machina de Cadavis.
finale. Peter takes
The Machina de Cadavis.
back and imprisons Doctor Strange in mirror dimension. After that, the story cut Doctor Strange out. And the sub-beat appears in Bad Guy Close in either. Fun and game. Peter brings the villains to his safe house. Peter heals the villains. Start from Dr. Octopus. Midpoint. Spider-Sense finds something wrong. Bad guy close in. Peter knows Osborn is controlled by the Green Goblin. Peter fights with the villains. Aunt May runs. Peter is attacked by the Green Goblin and is defeated. Green Goblin changes his target to Aunt May. After that, connect to the main beat. All is lost. The next point that I want to discuss.
Will you look at me, May, please?
All that is lost in this story is the death of Aunt May. The question is this the greatest loss of Peter?
Everything Spider-Man touches comes to ruin.
The answer is yes. But is this the greatest loss of No Way Home? We have to go back to the logline. You will see the stake of the story as healing the villains before sending them back. So, all is lost should be failure to heal the villains. Or send them back before healing. Or something about healing. Or sending them back. Why did they choose Aunt May's death be all is lost? Because No Way Home is a movie in the MCU universe. We couldn't just watch it alone. Aunt May's death would affect Peter. And he will change in other movies after that. Another reason is that All is Lost, as I said, does not fit in this script. There are too many villains. If all villains are sent back into their own universe, Peter would have to go there and heal them. That makes the story too long. Spider-Man No Way Home is a movie in the MCU franchise. It is made on many conditions which the script found the way to solve the problem. Although it doesn't match the Save the Cat structure, it has good results. The movie is fun, impressed fans and still makes me want to see the next MCU movie. There are many superhero franchise movies that have to deal with many conditions. But it fails.
Why did you say that name?
So, No Way Home is a good example of a movie that works on a lot of conditions. Do you agree with me? Leave a comment below.